Rollmonger's Actual Play podcast is proud to present Star Wars Saga Edition, Dawn of Defiance campaign, starring GM Jeff Ball as narrator and game master, with players Matt Witt, Ryan Messina, Aidan Willems, Jay Tamlin, and Frank Hamilton.
Picture a place. Behind a closed door. Through this door, another dimension. In that dimension, 5 men stand in a hidden village on a planet. A jungle planet. Deep, deep in the Outer Rim territories, hiding from an empire. If this empire were to discover them, it would be bad. If the empire were to discover the hidden Felucian village that is now hosting them, that would be bad. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Star Wars Saga, Dawn of Defiance. We're gonna start a rebellion all by yourself, yada 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 yada. You know this part. What you don't know is tonight we are going to do one of the most difficult things to do on a mini-map in an RPG. Something that needs way too much space for a grid to pull off. Movies do it. Action sequences live by this term. Tonight, we're going to give it our best shot to keep you fixated on the characters, to keep them riveted to their seats, or in this case, saddles, as we last left our heroes. Gentlemen, I believe our good doctor was tending to sick children for a period of about 8 hours. I remember the shaman taking our own poser sham deeper into the Felucian jungle on a soul-searching solace, as it were, to possibly help the boy reconnect with the Force or teach him something that the old shaman thought he didn't know. Concerned for their wayward companion, the majority of the party, led by our scout, Old Man Zinn, we go now to them crashing through the jungle, tracking their friend, singing an adaptation of the Rawhide theme song, Frank.
Yes.
Frank, survival to track, and tracking is a survival skill. So to close on your quarry, or prey, to avoid natural hazards, you must roll the skill from your sheet. Spam it, if you would, and I will tell you the progress that you make. Followed closely by Rahal Opus, our former separatist noble, and his close friend and personal bodyguard, Merrick, a near-human gigantor of a man from an unknown system and an unheard-of planet.
All right, so I'll just throw a few rolls right out there.
Okay.
Start with 4 on that. Got 17, 17, 24, and 19.
All right. 17, tracking off the beaten path as you were. Signs someone carrying something large, disturbing, not pushing through the underbrush of the jungle, but actually disturbing it, snapping vines, leaving sinkhole that quickly filled in, which was possibly once a footprint. Onward and onward and onward. 17, 24, 19. You finally come to I wouldn't say a field, but a breadth of heavily anchored, almost like an orchard, if you will, of the 60-foot tall giant, almost blackened, heavy, tree-trunked mushrooms. Purple at the top with a huge canopy, tendrils hanging down like 6-foot ropes. The sway, almost like a palm tree, working up. It's almost as if these giant mushrooms had grown to a 2-foot height, and the edges snapped off, and then through the center, another umbrella had opened up, and again and again and again. And as this thing reached skyward, constantly growing new mushroom caps, the old one snapped off and left a chiseled, stunted bark growth that fades into an ashen gray and solidifies, petrifies, just like the much larger versions of these mushrooms that these natives are using as huts. And I'm not talking about the space hut that you can, rack up huge debt with. I'm talking about an actual native hut, an enclosure, a little house in the wild. Your trail splits. Thanks to your magnificent 24, there are signs that something has climbed, and there are signs that something has gone on beyond the orchard of mushroom trees. what do you do?
All right, so am I making progress on the map there? Is that about where you envision me?
Technically, sorry, you're not on this map yet.
Okay.
Just stay within the mind's eye. I've got a little picture for you to help. Remember the visualization. Visualization. Area. Now, and you see in this picture here the giant purple cap with the orange stripes, but it seems a live environment 6 feet off the top, but the bark itself almost looks like there's oysters and shackles and barnacles sticking out from old growth, and upward and skyward it went. This is the type of thing that stands before you. Most of them 30 to 60 feet tall. And
a few more times here, and
tracks go onward.
All right, so after that 19, I got an 8.
Okay.
Followed by a 26, and then a 15.
All right.
So kind of look around.
You believe you were following 3, Quarry, the Shaman, Mandrake, the former war vet separatist, and Poser, your wayward companion. And you seem to have lost the trail of one of them. One seems to, somebody climbed this mushroom, somebody went onward making a mess, and the third person has just vanished. 26 and 15 to pick up the trail again, and you're just kind of
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to try to follow the one that seems the easiest, because I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that's probably Poser.
Okay.
Not having a bunch of wildland skills, whereas the other two probably do. I think he's going to be the easiest to follow, so it should be, pretty straightforward.
All right. There are signs on the foot trail of twigs being snapped, possibly by his axe over his shoulder. Someone carrying gear and bulkily moving through the jungle that's not akin to it. The practically native shaman and the war vet who just, close on their backs, as it were. Chances are your survival skill tells you that Poser went onward alone, following this trail for another 2, maybe 3 hours. You come to a fresh water source, and you spot one of your quarry. Mandrake sits on the edge of a pond and has, I guess you could say, a meditative pose. He's just sort of eyes half shut, staring across the clear water, sipping away at his cantina, just kind of sitting there. And he's surrounded by gear, 2 packs, and Poser's axe. And we see him 20, 30 feet away up the side of this little riverbank. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I kind of call out to him. Hey, you and Poser there snuck off without the rest of us. What's going on?
He sees you, he nods, he holds up a hand, give him a second, collects all his gear, and including Poser's axe, and, trudges past you and smiles and points like he's going to show you the way, back to Poser, where everybody else went, and trudges off, and you guys follow him?
Well, I'm curious at this point. Considering he's got Poser's axe, but not Poser, okay. Either he's leading us into the same pit, or something's going on.
Okay. Well, excuse me. Another half an hour, sort of taking the shortcut, as it were. He leads you back from a completely different sort of direction, but a roundabout way, back into the actual village. Puts down the gear, and you see the shaman has already returned to the village. So he just, excuses himself for a minute. Maybe he's going to ask the shaman where Poser is or whatever, and leaves you guys, runs off, talk to the shaman.
Turn to my companions. I don't know. You guys got me. 3 men go into the woods, 2 come out. That doesn't look too good to me, especially considering he left his gear here.
May I have a perception check, gentlemen?
Something seems a little bit fishy to me, too. And Rahal's going to collect up Poser's gear.
Okay.
Sling his axe over his shoulder. And after taking a good look...
Are you sure you can even lift it?
Oh, yeah, I'm not a weakling.
A weakling.
Perception of 24.
Okay.
16.
And I got a perception of 7.
All right. Old man's in, a little distracted with the conundrum of where Poser went, the tracks, staring at the gear. You initially miss what the others sort of... It's not like they're ignoring you, but the gentleman beside you are listening to you nodding, but they both kind of crane their ear up in an upward direction. Merrick, Rahal, you hear a high-pitched, droning whine noise, and it's a man-made noise.
Is there a knowledge I can roll to see if I know what it is?
Yep.
Knowledge,
Mechanics?
technology, maybe?
Mechanics? Yep. Tech and mechanics. Yeah, tactics. Could tell you, go for the high ground, get away from that wine.
Knowledge,
18.
technology of 23.
All right. So, Merrick, it is the high-pitched whine of a small repulsor lift. Okay. Rahal, with your awesome roll, you see that come up there?
Yep.
That's what you hear.
Oh, that's not good. I look around the village and see if the inhabitants had noticed the sound as well.
Yep, several have.
And are they taking cover?
Actually, Mandrake grabs the shaman and points off in one direction, and the shaman seems to wave him off, give him leave to go, and he goes running to the edge of the the back of the village where you guys haven't really gone yet, to where there's some open paddock of herd animals.
Okay.
Merrick?
That's a multibus.
Some kind of repulsor lift. Rahal knows what it is.
Yeah, that ain't no motor bus, dude. That's a speeder bike. I think the Imperials are headed this way. We should take cover.
Duck into the bushes. 24.
It just vanishes. Loom and then gone into the gloom. Like one of those early morning Vietnam movies with the mist, and he just fades away.
But out of protective instinct, could I grab Rawl with me?
Sure. Standard action, he grabs Rawl, and move action just disappears behind a hut.
Batman.
Swear to me. Just throws the smoke bomb down. Poof, and he's gone.
That's not smoke. Don't breathe that in.
Zin.
Yes.
Mandrake comes bursting into the village, leading several rideable-looking animals on leashes. And sure enough, there's a reason for it. On the very edge of the village, Zin, you see a white, plastic-armored, narrow-visored scout trooper on a speeder bike, barking, and sort of two of them come hovering to the edge of the village, and they're kind of gawking at everything. They see, like they were just riding along and came up against some heavy foliage and, slowed their bikes down and kind of slowly idled, two-step at the stoplight, their way in through the brush and come bursting out into the, not in the open, but on the far edge of this village, seeing you guys. And you guys see them, and they see everything going around, and these guys immediately 180 and take off as Mandrake from the back of the village comes running in to the village, leading these pack animals, waving at you guys frantically. Well, where he knows Zin to be standing, where he left him, all alone. Dr. Leth, a bit of a row outside. Panic. Young warriors come into, where you're working on the children and everything, and you don't understand what they're saying, but they're like, and they're, like motioning for you to get up and come see.
All right. Calm down.
You step outside just in time to see two speeder bikes just kind of thumb their way back through the heavy foliage and take off. Mandrake arriving with a whole bunch of animals and scanning, just kind of standing off the back edge or the side edge of the village out from a hut is Zin, standing next to a pile of what looks like our gear. Always ready and prepared. Zin, the scout. No sign of Raul, no sign of Merrick.
I'll look around, because a second ago there were people standing next to me. Now I'm like all by myself, kind of being two steps behind. Are we going after him or are we running? What's the plan? Guys?
Turn around, just gone. Mandrake, still leading the animals, crosses to the center of the village and seeing Leth poking his head out, the one thing, is waving you over, Dr. Leth. And Zin, no sign of poser.
Now that the bikes are gone, I'll come out of the bushes.
One mounted turreted vehicle weapon from the last combat was enough for you, eh? Just like, take cover.
Yeah. Get out of there. They've got big guns.
Yes.
They hurt.
Well, I did warn the players very first game that, unlike D&D where everybody runs up and starts smacking everything point blank with their swords, the first tactical move for most players is run to solid cover whilst drawing your pistol, that kind of thing. Like, just don't stand out gawking out in the middle. Unfortunately, we burnt out our scout tracking, and he didn't notice the high-pitched hum. Probably just thought it was one of Rawl's last explosions. Or anyway,
just so irritated after being led on, basically an all-day goose chase for Poser and just being led right back into town. I'm like, really?
Mandrake comes over to you, or the halfway point, with several which appear like steeds. Imagine the love child of a kangaroo and a goat, standing on two hooves, with backward kneecap crooked, fast-looking tall legs. A fox-like
Like a
tail.
TonTon?
Yeah, but this
Jungle TonTon?
This is sleek, small, built for speed, and picture a kangaroo that has hooves instead of front paws, large hooves instead of bouncy feet, and, a kangaroo head with goat's horns that go from the nose all the way back over it. Anyway, Mandrake is, waving the reins at you guys, pleading with you guys at this point to take the reins and mount his herd of Kybucks and go after them. If they report the village to the Empire, it's over. Your only hope.
I'll look around as people start emerging from the brush. Well, I don't know what the hell that is, but it's pretty clear. We got to go. Run towards the coat or the kangaroo root or whatever we're calling that thing and try to mount up.
Mount up. You may now take this time to Google search a Kybuck. KY buck.
Kybuck. Do they smell?
No more like a goat or a kangaroo would.
So yes, the answer is yes, they
Yes.
smell. Okay. Geez, I guess I don't even know if I could ride this thing.
One way to find out.
Yeah, you're right. There is one
I'd go
way to find
myself,
out.
but I have terrible motion sickness. Please. You're the village's only hope. I don't have Connor here to do Mandrake for the last 2 sessions. I've been talking about him in the third person, but now that's all done now. Please, man. Go
I'll
after
take
them.
a set of reins. I'll take a set of reins from Mandrake.
Okay.
Ask him where Poser is. Hey, where is Poser?
I left him with the shaman at one of the large trees. They gave me his stuff and just told me to, go on for a couple hours. Then you guys caught up to me, so I just led you back here where it's safe. I don't know where he is.
Okay.
Maybe he's
We'll be
doing some
back
kind
at-
of Jedi training montage and earning really cool powers, and the price of that is to miss this exciting chase. I'm sure you'll catch up with him later.
Whoa. Wait a second.
That's
Please
useful
clarify. Jedi,
Jeff, shut the
Jedi
fuck up,
training-
Jeff. Shut the fuck up.
What? They all sat in on the last game. The entire audience was here in episode... Yeah.
No, okay. So I'll take a set of reins
Okay.
and motion for Merrick to do the same.
I mount. I'm assuming we're both equally uncomfortable, though.
Yes,
Well-
I imagine we are.
Proficiency and ride check or no. Let the ride checks begin, gentlemen. Good news is the
A
DC
ride
is
or a
relative...
pilot check?
A ride check.
Ride.
The module is
Could I
very
make
specific
that
on this.
Tactics check instead.
Nope. Now, tactics could possibly help you in the upcoming
13.
situation. But to mount as a move action, now there's all kinds of things in the Star Wars core rulebook on page 72 about, soft call, leaping, staying in the saddle, guiding with your knees, and we'll get all into that soon enough. But for right now, the beginner's guide to riding a Kybuck.
So I roll a 20, true to form. The scout grabs the reins and throws a leg up over the top of this weird creature and doing my best Howard Dean. Yeah! Off I go.
Shooting into the bush with a ride check that almost rivals Merrick's looming stealth. Firing. This thing is fast, agile, and it will let you guide it with the reins, but it's not it's not a stupid animal with blinders. It's just going to barrel into something. This thing basically, which way do you want to go? And I will take you zipping through that general direction, and this thing just goes.
Kybuck, take the wheel.
That's right. So, followed by Merrick. Uncomfortable.
19.
The Kybuck under the huge, larger, what were we saying? The Chewbacca-sized man? You don't take up 4 squares, but you're considered a large creature, right? You mount this thing expertly, and you go to ride, and this thing just starts jittering with the legs and just shaking, taking a step and going, and there's a little bit of, traction and speed, and it gets it going, and then leans in and just uses Merrick's mass as a forward propulsion as it tries to, sort of fall forward and lift Merrick, as it's crushing him down, and crashes off into the Felucian jungle. Next, we have Dr. Leth. Has a ride check. Going with them, Doctor? Good on you, sir. The 14. Mounts easy enough. No problem. Right?
Oh, may
Right.
as well.
Yeah, reins, shall we? Right. No foxes, no hounds, sir, but I'm pretty sure they went that way. Off he goes, zipping off into the Felucian jungle, which leaves us with Rahal at 13.
Oh no.
From this point on, there is a DC base ride of 10 for most stuff. And then we get into some very cool bonuses and penalties and conditional, all dealing in 5s. Beating something by 5, really cool. Getting within 5, you're fine. Less than 5, not so great. Less than 10, oh no. And and they have these wonderful little situations. So, going with the wind, or in your case, you've already gone, heading off into the jungle, we have color-coded Kybucks for you guys to jump on. And this is why I asked you guys to pick these certain colors: brown, red, green, blue, and purple, because your Kybucks are color-coded to you. If you blow a roll, Kybuck keeps going, and perhaps you're on your butt somewhere in the middle of the jungle. So we have Dr. Leth on his green spotted Kybuck. We have Frank on his purple spotted Kybuck, Rawl on his red spotted Kybuck, and Merrick crushing his brown spotted Kybuck. And into the jungle we go. The chase begins as you guys mount your Kybucks and go whipping off into the actual bush. I want you guys to roll for initiative.
Oh man, roll 20. Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
I got a 16, which is not bad, actually.
I got a natural 1. So with a masterful ride check, yet an abysmal initiative, I assume I just jump on the back of this thing and I'm all, I gotta wave at my hat. It's just kind of like riding in a circle.
Pretty much showing off. All right, round 1. As you guys jump on and get going, funnel your way out of the end of the village. Crash through the brush. These things seem to know which way to go. As you guys get whipped in the shoulders and the face and along the thighs with all sorts of jungle vegetation. Heading very, very quickly, these beasts lurch forward, but you do realize that you don't have trouble keeping up with a speeder bike. These things can run 90 kilometers an hour, which is like 60 miles per hour.
And they have all traction control, too.
Oh, sorry, about 55 to 60 miles per hour. And these things just book it.
Am I able to hold on to the reins of this thing and
yeah, no, you're in control. Like, I will ask for ride checks, and it's like, but it's making all the quick decisions. Like, this thing's full bore, and it's obviously dodging a tree and blah 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 blah, and you just kind of went, I want to head towards that thing, and it's running along. Okay, the very very far ahead as we can see or hear.
Basically, what I'm kind of alluding towards is, can I draw my weapon while riding this thing?
Yeah, but best to possibly catch up first.
Okay.
Because then we can get into like knees, and once you take one hand off the wheel and blah blah blah, it makes some of the ride checks difficult. You know what I mean? Until you're like right on top of a target, I wouldn't suggest you guys start pulling guns or force powers or anything weird like that. Okay. Each Kybuck, gentlemen, leaps and turns and twists between the massive growths of the fungal forest, and throughout the chase sequence, okay, the actual you guys are forced to pick a spot way ahead, because to look down or look beside you, or even maybe if there's another Kybuck ally, running par, disappearing and reappearing vastly between the bush, that's fine, focus on that. But the actual undergrowth and everything is going by so quickly, it would be like opening your car door and looking at the road and trying to get purchased, like it would be Throw Up City. You are moving very, very fast. So...
Hey, can I make a quick tactics check? Have I ID'd who we're chasing? I just want to think, do they have long-range communication on them? Or do scouting patrols like this do that?
Communication doesn't work so good on the planet, remember?
Yes, the vegetation blocks out most comlinks.
Ooh. Good to know.
Possibly they are literally driving somewhere to actually go physically report or get within range of something?
Yes. Must head them off at the pass.
All right. Who got over 15 on their initial ride check? Zin?
Yep.
And Merrick?
Yep.
All right. You are accepted by your Kybuck, and as the beast dashes through the jungle, okay, it seems to be comfortable and wary that it's carrying a rider, and adjusts its speed, its tilt, and when it whips around a tree or a mushroom, it doesn't just graze it. It knows that you have legs sticking out wider, a head sticking up higher, and it adjusts its height, its speed, its lean to accommodate you as well, as you have indicated through your expert riding, becoming one with the speeding animal and lurching and leaning this way and leaning that way, and the animal seems to respond instantly. Now, those of you who are 5 or more, right over 15, you guys get a +2 to your ride checks for the remainder of the entire sequence. So every time Merrick and Zin make a ride check, I want you guys to have an additional conditional +2, because the Kybuck is in sync with you for the entire chase.
Nice.
Okay? The 10 to 15s are the same as what I was just saying before. This thing accepts you as a rider and, is accepting your pitching and rolling and back and forth and is grooving with you, and you guys go tearing off. Nobody rolled under 10, so we're doing well in the first leg. Okay? Now, when you guys get into the first zone, as it were, the first area of the jungle, okay, the scout trooper is practically out of it. Like it's turned 180 in the village, shot off at deadly speed, and just gone. And you guys are like, oh, let's get on the horses, let's get going on these Kybucks, kind of thing. So you guys got some, catching up to do. So I'm going to roll an initiative for our dude. See the DM's first dice drop. Scout Trooper. Dun dun dun. Gets a +4 because he's on a speeder bike. All right. So the little deer here is actually my speeder bike, and he goes at 14. Bum bum. All right, gentlemen. Now, you're going. You're trying to close on target. You guys are thinking tactics. You guys are, getting used to your mounts, wondering if it's safe to pull a weapon. Can we see what we're chasing, kind of thing. The loud that the speeder bikes make when they come to speed echoes through the jungle. It's not a hard trail to follow. At least you guys know what direction he's gone. Okay? There is no sign of the second rider. There were 2 in the actual jungle that popped their heads in, and they turned around and bailed, and now we're only chasing. We only see like 1. Zone 1 is much the same as I described the area around the hidden village. There's a lot of underbrush, a lot of reedy vines. Not too far away was the tall mushrooms, but we haven't got no acid pools, no exploding patches of ball vegetation or any of that type of thing. We're just kind of booking it through condensed, moist jungle. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Go, go, go.
Fanto zoom?
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Now, starting with Merrick, okay? This thing is keeping pace with the bike, but that's it. Like, the bike is at the end of the zone. You're in the beginning of the zone. It's, dozens of squares away. What do you want to do?
I want to chase.
Do you want to spur your mount on to close? Go faster?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do a little leaping and, that type of thing. Go, go, go. Stay in the saddle. All right, sir.
Indeed.
Give me a ride check.
25.
25. Leading your head next to the goat-like horns, Merrick seems to become some kind of natural, never have taken the ride skill, kangaroo goat whisperer, and seems, despite the extra burden this thing is carrying, just leans in and starts, it's almost like he's given it a head to go head-to-head with, and he's leaning forward and he's bobbing his head like, look, I'm the next horse right beside you, what are you going to do about it? And the goat straightens out its neck and just, starts sweating profusely, and the ears go flat against its head, and it just uses Merrick's weight bearing down on it to defy jungle gravity and just seems to just pull away from you guys and starts closing on the speeder bike. Rahal, what do you do?
The same thing. Yeah! I, spur the reins.
All right. Ride checks.
7.
Go. All right.
The thing just turns its head around and bites me.
It doesn't take kindly to you digging your heels into, thinking you're on a quadrupeded mount and where you dig into the flanks. Since this is a bipeded, it stands up a little taller, your heels sort of collide with its forward lurching,
Kicking it in the junk, aren't I?
No. As it picks its hooves up, there's that sort of wrist joint that hangs down, and as it's lifting its leg forward, your legs are dangling, and it keeps colliding, and you're slowing it down, and don't not only don't sort of make progress with the pack. I'm not saying you're falling behind, but you're certainly not doing very well.
Not surprising.
Okay, can I have a persuasion check? Your Kybuck, gets upset and starts becoming unruly. As a free action, you can give me a DC 10 persuasion check to try and calm the mount.
Oops, wrong roll. 1 sec.
Perception.
Rahal will never take 10, by the way, when it comes to his
persuasion.
Ever.
26.
Ever.
All right. So I'm just curious, you're riding this thing, you don't have the riding skill, and you saw Merrick do something. He's a natural, goes taking off, even though he's twice your size. You're the tiniest guy. If anyone's jockey size for a racehorse, it's Rahal. Okay? So I'm just curious, what do you lean in and say? How do you persuade an animal, a kangaroo, goat, Kybuck, to that everything's okay?
Calm down.
Yeah. My heels are hitting your kneecaps, but...
Easy, big fella, and gently stroke behind the horns.
Okay. All right. It calms.
In a soothing manner.
All right. it calms.
With my persuasion of 26.
Yes, and you manage to avoid actually taking penalties on your next ride check with that. So, not too bad. At least he's breaking even. Next, we have Dr. Leth.
Well, this wasn't so difficult to read about.
He's got a book out. Kybucks for Dummies.
No, I've read it before. I've researched before.
Well, that's what I thought was funny. Like you research, mating rituals of alien species and possibly animals or whatever, and you so easily mounted your Kybuck.
Well, ride of 22. Apparently, it is quite easy.
There you go. No problem. Off you go into the wild. You, sir, not for the entire race, but for your next ride check, also managed to garner a little bit of persuasion, shall we say, and gain a +2 bonus for zone 2. But not the whole thing like the other guys. Okay? Next, we have the actual speeder bike, who's making piloting rolls. Natural 20. I really wish natural 20s worked on skill checks, but if you think about it, somebody would be like, I'd like to craft mithril armor. Yeah. And they'll just like, I'll take 20. Or, just roll until, hey, I finally got a 20. And look, with hardly any skill or, So, no, natural ones are not automatic failures. Natural 20s are not automatic successes on a skill check. But I do owe a big fat chunk of 20 to my natural piloting, and leaning back, quickly glancing over my shoulder, you see the helmet turn, Merrick. And that sort of toe push down on the pedal and, spurring it off to keep you from matching your speed, giving an extra little boost. And it goes ripping off. Dun, dun, dun. Round 2 and into zone 2. First,
What about Frank?
I think you forgot Zin.
Did I forget Zin?
I'm still spinning in circles. Yeah!
I didn't have his initiative in here. What's your initiative, Zin?
I got a 7.
Ah, right. Sorry. So, Zin, what's
Another ride check?
Yes, sir. Well, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to give chase, make sure I'm not left behind.
All right.
I delayed just long enough for everybody to go ahead of me.
Yeah, so you catch them and pace them and give encouraging words. And,
It's that healer mentality slipping in there.
yeah,
There you go.
Give them the Hidalgo lead. There you go. The first leg is all for show, and you're just pacing yourself.
Yeah, all right, I got a 21.
21. All right.
Did you add your modifier bonus?
I did, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
So I go ripping off behind the rest of the group.
Dun, dun, dun. You're doing fine, sir. And that modifier will carry for the entire encounter, but I'm not stacking with just pluses on top of pluses right now. So you're doing well. And let's say that you manage to catch anyone that is not doing well. So I would have to say that Dr. Leth managed to pass Rahal while he was hesitating. And even though you went last, you managed to catch up close to, not on top of, beside, or passing, but you get closer to Rahal. So, now we're into round 2. Back to Merrick, the Kybuck Whisperer.
Duh.
Well, Stormtrooper Scout, put on the juice, man. You guys are really flying now. Problem is, the second zone, these, I don't want to call it a tree line, but, the mushrooms and everything suddenly break out into, do you remember where we fought those guys? An area like that. You guys go ripping into an open jungle-type swamp, a fungal swamp.
Oh, so the Kybucks are just leaping like island to island to island?
Yeah, or they're splashing like right into the muck, and their legs are so skinny they're still like keeping up a decent speed, but there's like water flying up everywhere. But it opens up. You guys can kind of like see a little further, even though it's misty kind of thing. You can hear the distinct whine of the scout trooper, and it's just kind of parting the way. Shallow pools of water litter this landscape. You guys, your Kybucks send up huge splashes. There's large multicolored fungi that droop low over the landscape. Huge birds swoop down, scoop up prey in this open area that's exposed. As we get to like the middle, or like off of the edge of the mushroom jungle, the denseness of the open area of the smell of the fungal swamp hits you, along with a heavy, heavy mist. And suddenly, you guys can't see anything like 20 squares out in front of your line of sight. However, as you'd hope, the Kybucks themselves have no difficulty navigating the swampy terrain and continue to rip you guys through. May I have another ride check from you, Merrick? What do you want us to do?
Oh, carry on pushing the Kybuck to follow the sound of the other speeder.
Yep. Now I'm going to ask for ride checks from everybody at this point, just to save on dice time. Okay, and we'll come to you as you
24.
24.
24.
And you have a conditional +2, or is that with the +2?
Yeah, that's with the +2 in there.
Okay. So 24. Succeeding, you move within long range of the scout trooper. You can't see him, but you can hear him. And long range for like a pistol, because using a rifle in this would be a little bit more difficult. Long range for a pistol is 80 squares. So this thing is closer than 81 squares to you. You can hear him. You can sense him. Tactically, you can only see 20, but you're getting closer.
We almost have him. Keep going. Good, Chum.
Next, we have Rahal.
I smashed it with a 20.
All right.
Not 20, but I got a 19. And I get a dex modifier. Yay.
Free dexterity. All right. Managing to catch back up to the doctor. And well, you can hear, just out of pistol range. And you guys can see Merrick on the edge of the fog line, like 20 odd squares ahead, leaning in. You're catching up. Next, we have Dr. Leth.
Yes. My ride was 9. I'm wondering, is it possible to use a force point here?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
That's usually Rahal's trick. I could have saved him some trouble earlier on. Yes, this is definitely where you guys want to use those D6 bonus.
Nice.
There we go.
There's the 15.
Full 6. 15. All right. With a nod from the Dr. Rahal, he, uses his awesome book and mind powers, and instinctively the eyes on the Kybuck just sort of snap to and swirl, and it just, in a mechanical motion, just sort of kicks up the water and just goes even faster, and he closes on Merrick, leaving you behind.
I have the Jesus Kybuck.
It's like the lizard that runs across it.
Our Scout Trooper. Oh, Mr. Scout Trooper does not do so well. He's forced, because of reduced visibility, he doesn't want to slam his thing into a tree, and actually is forced to back off the throttle, and the repulsor lift is reacting to, there's land masses and water, and if the grade is like a foot or two or whatever, you're not going to get much of a bump, but there's the odd thing sticking out, and it's, it's throwing off its repulsor lift. He's so sort of cutting hard to the right and cutting hard back to the left, and doing a big sort of tacking, one way out and one way back to stay on course, and it's causing him to lose ground, as Merrick and you guys in the Kybucks are kind of like staying the course. Dun 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 dun. Boom.
Oh man.
And he starts getting closer. Merrick.
Duh.
He is actually within 20 squares. You can actually see the back of the bike zipping across your view. Now you're going straight. This thing kind of like from your right comes within 20 squares and cuts across your view on the 20 square point, and then disappears, and then comes cutting back at like 15 and back out. But technically on next round he's within 20 squares where you can actually see the target when we get back to. And last but not least, Zin.
All right, do I need another ride check or?
Yep. Navigate the swamp.
Rolling. See here. 19.
Yeah.
I whip the reins over to one side, and the creature like jumps off of a stump, feet kicking as it jumps through the air.
All right.
Try to make it around.
Now I had you catch up to Rawl's position last time. Okay. You managed to pass Rawl, and you start rapidly closing on the doctor, coming up behind him. Round 4. This is where the fun begins. As you guys leave the swamp, you are forced to sort of choose a path. There are several paths suddenly pop up in your 20 square view, which kind of opens out as the mist and smell dissipate, and the junglous, mushroomous tree line, as it were, comes back into view. There are small pockets. Okay? When you guys hit them, there's no sign of the speeder bike. You can still hear it, but in and out of the fog, only Merrick knows which one he took. That doesn't necessarily mean that Merrick can actually take the same one. It might have been like way out to the right kind of thing. You guys must choose a path. There are several paths before you to get into the next zone. Okay? Directly ahead, there are 2 that look somewhat hospitable. Okay? One appears to go through very thick foliage, and the other travels through a hollowed-out trunk of a massive Felucian tree. There are other little gaps and pockets in the tree line, but chances are, at the speed we were going, the speeder bike probably went through one of these 2, unless he was veering way off. So, Merrick, which one do you go for? Can I have a perception check? See if you caught which one he kind of deked through at the last second, because he was rather close to it.
Merrick?
Yep. Perception?
A mighty 2.
You blinked in the mist, and he was heading towards both, and then careening off one way, and the last second he just kind of vanished, and you're not sure if that echoing sound is him beside the log, in the tall grass, Not sure. Which way do you want to go?
If I want to go through the log, to be honest.
You want to go through the cool Star Wars log, right? It's almost like a video game now. Gotta go through the cool log. Go through.
How cool is that going to sound there with that motor rumbling inside that log?
Yes, that's right.
I'm hoping, anyways.
You're hoping. All right, sir. Getting into Zone 3. More ride checks, of course. So, let's see how you do. And yes, gentlemen, you can all follow in suit.
22.
22.
I hit a 16. Woohoo.
I don't have the +2 now anymore, right?
That's right. Unless you got it at the very beginning, but that was Zin and Merrick, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So, Merrick, you gain even more ground on your foe. You can hear it getting closer to you, which means you are closing. And the Kybuck seems to know this drill. It literally heads straight down straight so that you can actually lean forward on it even more. It does the really cool the race car into a tube. It slowly drifts up one side and does the big spiral down the barrel.
Both me and the Kybuck both hear wow inside our heads.
Yep. Just flying through this thing up one side, loops, comes down and hits the bottom center just in time. Yeah, does the corkscrew just in time to reach the side of the log. Next we have Rahal. What'd you get? You got a what?
16.
16. All right. Both Merrick and... Oh, which way did you go? Log or...
I followed Merrick.
Follow Merrick. All right. Yeah, in the mist, gentlemen, as it breaks, following the white suit on the Kybuck, not hard at all. It's like you've got to just follow the flag, which is Rahal, right? Now he's falling behind you guys. Breaking through the mist. Actually, you're at the back. So even though you go next to act or whatever, I kind of had you lagging behind a bit. So you managed to catch up to Zin, okay? And the two of you break through the edge of the mist, dead ahead, two paths, and there's that high-pitched whine that sounds like it's echoing. There's the log or there's the grass, your choice. And you can hear clump, 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 clump inside, like an echoey tinny inside the log. Guessing that's where Merrick went, pointing your Kybuck that way. But at least you're catching up again. Dr. Leth.
Yes. Ride of 19.
Was there a chapter on stunt riding? Get the tall grass that you could leap through, or just kind of the grass will swish like you're on some kind of velociraptor, closing on your prey.
There may have been, but I'm usually under the impression that one has to first learn to ride plane before they would attempt such things.
Didn't get to that chapter. Okay. So does that mean you're going for the grass over the stunt log, or?
Oh, no, I'm going for the log as well.
Okay.
I thought you meant standing and
riding. No. I just meant there's hazards coming up, really interesting, You can ollie the log, get on top of it or something, or go inside, do the corkscrew, or do the rapid.
No, I'd go inside, but I don't think that I would necessarily do the corkscrew. I would just kind of hold on for the ride.
Okay. Our pilot really got himself. Come on, buddy. Oh! You come out of that corkscrew, Merrick, and you're practically on top of the guy. He's, literally, within the proverbial 10 squares. An easy, he's in point blank range for a weapon, like a pistol or whatever. He's gunning it, but there's just so much foliage on the side or whatever. He's just too much bob and weave, and you've caught up to him with that awesome corkscrew maneuver. You guys come out the other side, and you've caught up on him. And last but not least, Zin.
Okay, got a 7 on my ride.
Ooh.
And a 18 on perception.
Okay. Looks like everyone's going for the log. Okay. Now, the noise coming out of this echoey log was kind of obvious, and then there's the guys that are around you all kind of leaning that way, so you do have a choice.
So I kind of slowed down just enough to make a choice, and then I'll dive into the log right after everybody else.
Okay. You pull up on the reins a bit, and your mount doesn't seem to like that idea. And it hesitates a little bit too much. And you take a -2 penalty to your initiative going into next round, dropping you to 5 on the track. Luckily, you're the bottom of the track, but that could have sucked earlier. Gentlemen, the rest of you that had 15 or more, which I believe is all 3 of you.
Yep.
Okay, doing well, riding the log, gaining speed as this log looks like it's tilted up and then kind of cracks, and you guys kind of come out and it skirts through a bunch of really difficult terrain, almost like a shortcut in some of those cool car racing games. You guys all have a +5 bonus on your next ride check in the next round.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Woo. All right. Those who chose the hollowed out tree. Okay, there are a bunch of them before you, as if massive trees have all fallen apart, gapped several feet, and it's almost like a train yard of hollow logs laid out in front of you. The first one was easy. Now, there's big trees, little trees, hollow trees, and you guys must lower your heads to prevent scraping the ceiling of these natural passageways. Some trees crossed over, and it's like the low wall kind of thing. You got to duck right down or go sideways on your mount. Since you all went for the log, you're all going to do this. So, next ride check in turn, starting with Merrick, and you do get a +5 for doing so well last time.
So this is like the same log, or
Nope, you're out the log. Okay, and out the other side, there's a bare patch, and you catch up on your guy, and you're getting all excited, and then ahead looks like a train wreck of massive tree logs. Some are hollow, some are crisscrossed, all over the place. You're just like riding into a tree graveyard.
Maybe it's just a bit of the adrenaline here, but I got an idea, and I just want to throw it out there.
Okay.
Can I use my jetpack and have a jetpack powered Kybuck?
Oh my god! Turbo boost.
It's going to be amazing or terrible. Either way.
I don't think that's a good idea, because basically if you're running at full speed and someone grabs you under the arms and pushes you along the track, you're just going to stumble. Now, you could use your jetpack to leave your mount and maybe catch up to the biker in the air. That would be ballsy, because you're doing 90 clicks on the mount. You fire up your jetpack and you're like, it's launching. It's the Colossus Speedball that you dreamed of.
Kind of, except I'm the one getting propelled.
Yes. Target being the guy in the bike.
If I think that this could tactically work out?
Well, give me a knowledge tactics.
I mean, you did last time.
True. I just thought the Talbuck might enjoy it too.
Maybe. You want to just carry him? Just drop him on the biker.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Kybuck bomb.
11. That's a great idea.
That's animal cruelty in a whole new way.
But it makes for an excellent mental image.
Jeez.
It's amazingly tactical.
Tactical cruelty.
No, the Talbuck's into it. He's like,
yeah, we got this.
We're in sync at this point.
I'm not listening to your whispers anymore. La, 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 la. All right.
Call us Talbuck Shia.
Knowledge tactics of 11. You're gauging that every round, there'd be a good 40% chance that your Kybuck would stumble if you just sort of Kybuck boost it along the ground. Lifting it into the air and using it as a bomb, that's a whole bunch of strength check and stuff that's just worse than Rahul going down a chute.
Giving my Talbuck like a rocket jump.
If it leaps, and then you engage thrusters to get that extra boost, then all it has to do is land. That's tactically sound. Not that it's leaping at the moment.
So just get it on top of the logs, so I don't have to go through the logs?
Oh, well, up top is just as horrible mishmash as it is going through them. Because they're all angled and it's, you know what I mean? Like, picture an actual train wreck. They have all the boxcars piled up in weird-ass angles. Now make it trees. You want to go on top of that mess? Okay. But it's still a whole bunch of round slipping and jumping, and, it's no more easy than ducking and going the low road kind of thing. If not, the penalties would be more severe for failure, because if you miss a duck, you get thrown off your mount or hit the dirt. If you're way up in the air, jumping from log to log, and this thing skits or falls, that's all bad. Scumbling down into that mess. But the tactics have spoken. What do you do? All this flashing through your mind.
So many scenarios. This is a Merrick moment.
Yep. It's that movie with the bike riding guy, and he's there's that moment in time where he comes in an intersection, he doesn't have brakes on his pedal bike, and he draws the line in his mind. He's like, okay, this way is safe. Nope, this way not so safe. Oh, no, this, and he picks a route and goes for it.
Oh yeah, I never saw that one. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Very good movie, Maximum Rush.
Maximum Rush. So Merrick, all this flashes through your mind, but in these natural tunnels, I still need a ride check. Going high, going low?
Low.
Low. Okay.
So that's a 16 plus the 5, that bonus 5 I get this round, makes it a 21.
21. Well, sir, when you get to combat, you're doing so well, you will actually get a +1 to your attack rolls in the first round of combat that you engage in this encounter. Next we have... Rahul.
I rolled a mighty 14.
14, sir. You're doing well. You don't lose ground. You don't necessarily gain ground, but you are staying with the pack and making your way upsy-daisy, under the log, over the log, around the log. Merrick's got that jetpack gleam in his eye, but luckily you're far enough behind you don't see it. Dr. Leth.
Well, onward and inward?
Just too easy. I'm not touching that one.
Isn't that what you always say?
Ride of 10.
10. Alright, getting a little distracted with the obstacle course, but again, you still manage to stay with the pack, squeaking by with the minimum DC. You are okay, sir. Not winning any riding medals at this time. Your book ran out of pages, I suppose. Next we have...
I mentioned I hadn't got to trick riding yet.
Yeah, I hadn't got the trick riding. Our pilot, not doing too badly. Staying just outside of Merrick's point-blank shot range. Zin.
Got a 9.
A 9. Oh dear. You're jostled quite a bit. Your gear rearranges, your buckles on your plastic pieces of armor and protective coat shift around, and you will take a -1 penalty to all 3 of your defenses in our first round of combat when we get to that, sir.
Damn it!
I'd like to say you're sitting duck, perhaps a sitting Kybuck. Yeah.
Oh, zing.
Oh, no. Moving on. And now things get closer and closer. Our driver, our pilot, does well enough to pull away. Okay? However, he is still within 60 squares, and you can see him zipping in and out of trees. As we dogpile out of the back of this terrible mess, which is a graveyard of giant fallen shrubbery, gentlemen, the ground around the next zone suddenly erupts forth. You encounter a deadly specimen of Felucian fauna, a biped, heavily ridged, thick-armed, gaping mawed, 12-foot tall rancor.
Ew.
When you move into this zone, this thing has buried itself in a pile of dirt and undergrowth, and now the speeder bike that goes whipping over its head disturbs it like a massive 12-foot hornet's nest suddenly bursting from the ground right up in front of Merrick as the speeder bike disturbs its rest, or perhaps final resting place. Ride checks immediately, gentlemen, starting with Merrick.
Hey.
This thing lurches up out of the ground and literally attempts to grab you and the Kybuck. As a meal.
24.
Luckily for you, being second in line and it's still getting up, it seems sluggish. And even as it rises to its full height, pieces of debris fall off of its body, creating a rain of soil and plants that splatter all you heroes, or anti-heroes, that go racing past at high-end speeds. 24. Its own distraction of getting up and ducking under its swaying arms as it shakes itself to awareness. And Merrick slips under the low and around, dekes him out like dribbling with a basketball, right under the left shoulder, and goes by. Rahal.
Oh no. Ride of 6.
Oh no.
Force? The Force is with you?
Yeah, I think I will. You
Force
blow
point?
a force point on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. Oh, be with me, power of the Force.
Of the Force? Is that like the Jersey Force? Not like Jersey Shore, more like the Jersey Force. It's the Jersey Force. It helps you stay on your Kybuck. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Kybuck goes left and you want to go right, there's, you need the Force. What'd you get? That brings you up to 10.
4. Yep, so it brings me up to 10.
Alright, the Jersey Force, barely scraping by. You manage to duck. Da-dun! Under its right shoulder.
With the aid of the metachlorians in my blood.
Yes. Merrick was so smooth in his maneuver, I forgot to mention, he gets a +2 in his initiative round from now on, and up goes to 25. This is funny because Merrick is at the top of the order and gets a +2 bonus, keeping at the top of the order. Zin was at the bottom with 7, suffered a -2 earlier, and is down to 5. So there really isn't any shifting here, but it's very exciting to look at our chart. Anyway, next we have Dr. Leth. Splitting the needle. Rahal close to you. He goes right. You're forced to go left where Merrick went. This thing gets up, thrashing left and right, shaking dirt off of it, seeing you guys with one muddy eyeball, reaching out at Merrick, spinning around, backhanding at you. Dr. Leth, This was not in
I'm
the
thinking
manual.
his force point was directing the thing's attention towards me.
Look, he's got your sandwich!
Yeah, it sounds like Rahal.
I think someone forced it on him. Yoink! There you go.
Hold
Can
this.
one roll multiple force points in the same encounter, or
In the same encounter?
in the same thing?
Yeah.
'Cause I've already rolled one.
Yeah, you've got 5. You can burn them anytime you want.
Any skill check. You can't do 2 in a single skill check, but you only get so many a level. This is the thing. You burn you got one. How long is it? How many episodes have we done since you guys leveled? You guys just barely leveled now. You guys get 5 plus your level in force points every level, right? Refreshes. So you guys should be at 7.
I think it's just straight up 5, isn't it?
I think we were at 6 is what we were talking about.
Or is it half your
I
level?
know
Yeah.
I'm personally at 6. But
Yeah, sorry. It's
it might be
5 plus half your level. Every time you re-level, and any force points you didn't burn go away,
level, that's
and it kind of
what it
resets the square. So, on your sheets here, we've got we had a full force, full Jersey force.
Just
Everybody's got
quick
6.
question: do we get destiny points?
The
for level?
Force.
Yeah, you get a destiny point back, I believe.
Write that one down, boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to also access the Jersey Force.
Oh God, what have I done? All right.
Ah!
And 11.
It's the same roll. They both rolled a 4.
One.
Forget about it. You got a 4.
Sometime, somewhere in the future, we need to have a night when Raul takes Askelath out to the club or something.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking of
Couple
with this John
nobles just
Travolta,
hanging out.
yeah, the James Bond casino bit. Who would you take, the muscle or the sophisticated doctor to get information from Dr. Victor Zhivargo or something like this? He's you probably see the doctor in there because he has the intel and wherewithal to pull off the disguise. And
We already know we work well together.
well, who knows?
Simultaneously counting a few of the poker tables. It's all good.
Yeah, Rahal and Rain Man.
That'd be great.
Now you study aliens and mating, so you're imagine an alien casino, and Rahal's interested in the money, and you sit down, with mixed genders of all these aliens, and you're going around and leaning into Rahal, and you're pointing, 16%, 30%, 40%. And Rahal's like, "Are they gonna win?" It's like, "No, that they'll go home with me," says the doctor. That they'll invest in my research. 60%. 72%, excuse me, takes a drink from her hand and goes off. 2 alien beauties, leaving you to count cards, holding your handful. Anyway, possibly Space Casino, somewhere in Dawn of Defiance. We can make it happen. That's a big fat edit. I think that's going on the back of the bloopers or some crap. Anyway, where were we? 7, fail. 4 for the Jersey Force. Brings you up to 11. I'm just saying, that's not bad. Keeps you on your horse. No, it was supposed to, come on. Keeps you on your horse. I've been seeing dancing in Fatboy Slim's video, Weapon of Choice. You reach into one man's refrigerator. Does this look like a refrigerator to you? Nobody?
Yeah.
Nope. No, we got it. Just was not encouraging it.
Christopher Walken. A very bad impression of Christopher Walken. But
I got it.
thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little too young for that.
I thought it might have
What?
been, but then the refrigerator thing you said kind of threw me, so.
Kybuck's
Right
never
now.
scared me, but Ransols did, because they're fast.
The tooth fairy. She comes. She takes the tooth. She leaves the corner. Wait, no.
Said the Rancor.
The
Said
Rancor
Rancor
howls
again.
The Rancor.
No, that was another Rancor.
in frustration.
It's my alarm. It sounded better than crickets after that last impression, but that was good. Better than mine. Anyway, 7 becoming 11. As you whip past the convenience store in Jersey, you force yourself to straighten up on your mount and pull off the wind from its claws brushing against your cheek, Doctor. knocking the how to ride a Kybuck manual out of your hand, and you slip by.
Him. Zin had the sandwich.
My billy goat Kybuck is even bigger and tastier than mine. Kill and eat him.
I have in my mind's eye, I see this running by with like this Tabletop, and the first thing that happens is that Ralph pulls out the sandwich, throws it over his head. Then also Alvarez catches it, throws it over his head. Then they're going, huh?
Like a game of hot potato.
Oh, look, the stormtrooper dropped the sandwich. Rolls a 2 on a piloting check. You all gang up on him. He's looking left and right, surrounded by Kybucks, no less. I don't like them because they're fast. Gentlemen, Zin, exploding from the dirt. Merrick dekes him. Swings backhanded at Rawl, adding 2 stripes into his shirt unbeknownst to the hem. Coming claws straight down, whipping up dirt and wind against the doctor's cheek, who just smiles and nods at him. Makes note. Possibly this is a mating ground. Zin, this thing reels around and squarely eyes you. May I have a riding check, please?
Oh, damn. I've got the reins clenched in one hand and this sandwich in the other. I have no idea what's going on. I just know that there's this tower of monster in front of me, and I'm like, duh!
This is what I told them about. Thanks, guys.
17.
You're fine. The scout is the only guy with riding as a skill. Did you actually
Wheels? Wheels the Kybuck around, throws the sandwich, and leaps forward.
It just does the sunset rearing, slams the sandwich down in front of the two of them, and heads off. Here's your
Y'all come back. Y'all come back now. Yeah.
Off he goes.
Rides off.
He's had a cowboy accent ever since the Kybuck incident. Got away from the Rancor. He's all full of himself now. Don't say anything to him. All right. Well done, sir. A17. You as well gain back the 2 that you lost in your initiative, clawing your way back up to a 7 in the order initiative track.
Desperately trying to reach the bottom of the initiative track.
Yes.
The top of the bottom.
The top of the bottom.
Bottom.
Of the bottom. Of the top. Our last zone, we change our map.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
This guy's totally getting away.
Poser. When we left Poser 60 feet in the air, contemplating the resin on his pants, I believe you said you never really properly dealt with the death of your master.
Yeah.
Trying to reconnect with the Force, meditating, those last harsh life lessons whispered into your ear. Adapt. The thought of it pressing on your mind leaves you to cry alone or reach out, chin up wistfully with the Force, cross-legged, 60 feet, listening to the music of the jungle. And the Force comes back to you. You sense something. You sense a collective, the connection of the life forces. People that you know are the strongest of this connection. Your friends are having the time of their lives. They're riding Kybucks at 90 kilometers an hour, eating sandwiches and deking around Rancors. Woohoo! Screw Force powers. Who's the dork now? Hey, you're sitting there. Your pants are soiled. Your new harsh manister beat you. Now you're crying over your dead master. And these guys are out on a freaking road trip. Does that make you angry? Does that make you feel passion, which possibly leads
like he
to
was still crying?
Envy, fear, these emotions welling up inside you?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, good. Then lesson learned, and you begin. There's no toning in this version of the game, but you managed to suppress those urges, and with a more enlightened sense of the natural force in the world, you go back to sitting in your resin. You don't sense your friends are in danger. They're just being dicks.
So nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. Enjoy your mushroom. Right, so back to the high-speed battle and chase.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah?
Can I use far-seeing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Can you combine far-seeing with force choke?
Well, it does have to be within line of sight. It doesn't say whose line of sight.
Far-seeing has to be in line of sight of you?
No, force grip.
Oh,
target.
Okay.
Either one target within 6 squares or within line of sight. It doesn't say within my line of sight, just within line of sight.
Okay. We recently introduced, out of the subtext of the book The Force Unleashed, which the adventure is going into, so now I'm opening up to you, and there's that neat little rule we discussed about how if you spend a force point, you can immediately access for free a force power that has the dark side descriptor in it and go yah with the dark side. And here I am being a total dick tempting you, and you're like, no, I'm cool. Can I use farseeing? Sure. Can I choke the shit out of someone? This is
That
was my idea.
That was his idea.
Oh, his idea. Okay. Well,
I'm just curious.
Looking in on them with sort of a clairvoyant spell, or a drone with a camera on it.
He chokes Rahal.
I'm surprised you not asked me. I was there, with farseeing at the end of the bottle. Can I have experience points for that? I was technically there, saw the whole thing. At least you won't miss any of the action. Right? Can I have a use the force check?
Yes, of course.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to connect with you guys. He's going to watch the whole thing, and then some crucial moment, when you guys are distracted, he's going to play his guitar or appear as a force ghost or something. Go like, hey.
Run.
Yeah, you guys get off your Kybucks, and he's force ghosting along, smacking them all on the ass, making them all flee. There goes your ride, suckers! Boo, boo, scaring off all the Kybucks. Get into a battle without me, because I'll show you.
Leave me in the middle of a jungle.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, what'd you say? Did I miss something?
A dark smacker. I called him a dark... You guys were dark smackers. Anyway. Rancor riders. Poser riders.
Use the force check of 10.
Track bait. Okay. You see jungle. Just tons and tons of jungle, You just see, the reeds and things moving. You can't tell. I don't know if it's even them.
Well, see, I have to beat the target's will defense, and I'd be doing it on Merrick.
Yeah, fix Merrick. Where's Merrick? What's Merrick doing?
Kind of brilliant, really.
No, actually, with a 10, you do sense something. You are getting an image. It's right at jungle floor level, and it's this massive clawed monster foot, and is that a hand coming down picking up a sandwich? And then it fades out. That's all you get. That's all I'm giving you the force check at 10. All right.
I totally forget.
What?
I totally get why you can confuse the two.
You're the only player I know that's definitely I know why you were excited about that Destiny point. You're gonna burn it on making the next sandwich. I just know you.
Maybe.
Make the epic sandwich.
And hit the kid. The sandwich saves the day.
My destiny not to go hungry. Yeah, well, somebody's sandwich just did. Magically appeared. All right. After encountering the Rancor, gentlemen, the heroes, you leave the dense fungi growth and move into a clearing, which you see now. A small river cutting through it. Though the river is shallow, it is relatively wide, and you know that your Kybucks will be significantly slowed down by this difficult terrain if they go through it. The speeder bike repulsors have already hit the water and split it, and the bike comes up shallow on the other side of the map. So you guys are entering the map downward from the top right corner, and this thing zips diagonally, top right down to bottom left, and the bike joins what's this? 4 more stormtroopers, and some sort of large 5-6 square long console, and a generator adjacent under the canopy of a huge mushroom. Actually, there are several.
You are listening to Rollmongers, Star Wars Saga, Dawn of Defiance actual play podcast.
Don't see on the board here.
Can't select my mini?
You can select your mini.
No, the one that says Merrick?
Here, let me get this Kybuck off of you.
Oh, behave.
Nice.